How's it going, gamers? It's Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of Titanfall on the PC, and today's commentary is just going to be me giving my first impressions of the game Titanfall, so let's get into it. So first off, if you can't tell already, I am really enjoying Titanfall. I've been playing quite a bit of it over the last couple of days, and recently, over the last maybe year or two, I've been quite bored with FPSs in general. They just seem to feel the same, and they just seem to feel like COD, especially, you know, when you do get a game that comes out year after year. It's very hard to stay interested and completely, you know, enjoying an experience like that when it does feel like the same experience over and over again. And that's why I really think I love Titanfall, because it feels completely different than what we do know. I mean, the shooting does feel similar to something like Call of Duty, but the whole movement and double jump and wall running, that's all completely different to an FPS like this, so it does feel like a completely unique experience. And also there's Titans, so that adds another unique twist. Instead of just having a game where it's just, you know, players running around, there's actually the ability to have a vehicle as well as have it automated so it can go around and kill things, and yeah, you've got to watch out for that as well as other players. Now at the moment I've only played the classic mode, so I haven't touched any of the campaign modes, but I haven't really heard what people's general experience is with the campaign modes. From what I've heard, it's just a quick little cutscene and then basically normal games. It's not nothing really special, but I still think I'm going to play it because obviously if it's there I might as well play it. But one thing that I do feel is a bit odd is this whole game is multiplayer, but it kind of feels that there should be a little bit more game modes in there, or, you know, just some interesting ways that they could have came up with it, and hopefully they do get some private matches and stuff like that, because I think it'll be really interesting to see what people could come up with some mod tools for this game, and, you know, private lobbies and all that kind of stuff. So that'd be awesome if they could do something like that, because this game eventually, if you don't give the support to the players to create what they want to create, I can see the game kind of suffering for that. Now the game launched with 15 maps, which is surprisingly a lot for a multiplayer game, and especially since it's multiplayer only, obviously they had to pump out more maps, but most of them are pretty good. A few aren't so good, but there's definitely some good maps in there. Then there are like really small ones, and there's really massive ones, and so there's really something for everyone in there. But what I really like is, since there is so many, you don't really feel like you've played too much of any one map, because the game, you know, chooses another map, but it sometimes could be a day or two before you see the same map again. And I mean, it took me about 2 to 3 days before I actually hit any of the maps that were in the beta, so that was really awesome to constantly have new maps to play, or not the same map over and over again. I kind of feel like Call of Duty and other games have that problem where you keep playing the same map and it just gets quite boring, because you know everything about this one map and you want to play all these other maps that you can never really seem to get. One problem I have noticed, however, is there's some weird frame rate drops on certain maps, and I mean, some people will say, oh no, it's your rig or whatever, but I have got a really good rig. I've got an i7 as well as the 780, so most of these problems I shouldn't be getting, and I've been seeing other people online talk about it as well. There's certain maps that the FPS just plummets, and there's no real reason for it besides that the maps look really good, so I'm assuming it's something to do with the optimization. But it's kind of odd, the maps that it's done it with. Like on day one, there was a few maps like Lagoon was a bit stuffed, and they really sucked to play because the frame rate was like 30 FPS, when usually I'd be running at about 60, and then the next day they were perfect, and other maps had problems. So I don't know what they're doing, if they're patching it behind the scenes or whatever they're doing. But even like one from the beta had an FPS problem, which I thought was odd considering in the beta it was perfect. So I don't know what they're doing with that, but that's pretty much the only problem I've got with Titanfall at the moment, and it's only about 2 maps. And as for glitches and bugs, besides that FPS drop on certain maps, I haven't really seen anything, which is really good for a launch game to come out and have very minimal problems. And also they decided to add Australian servers the day after Titanfall launched, and I have been playing on them and have been getting about 40 to 50 ping, so that's really awesome for them to decide to add that, especially since they said it was probably going to come later in the year. And if people are still worried about, you know, this game being laggy or whatever, and you are in Australia, get it, because the servers are fine and they work, and I haven't had any downtime or any problems with them at all. And I'm really interested to see what kind of future content they will be providing for Titanfall, because I know that they're going to introduce private matches and some other stuff for free, and I also know they've got some map packs, and I'm not sure if they can introduce new weapons or not. It'd be interesting to see whether they do stuff like that, because they have already got the $29 season pass that's available on Origin, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of stuff they choose to add to a game like this. Anyway, this brings me into my first impressions of Titanfall. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments about Titanfall or anything like that, put it down below, and if you want to join the Gamerhood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.